Hi, I'm Patricia Balone with CTV News. Joining me now is someone who for years I've known as Charlie, and he's going to introduce himself with his Malaysian name.
Hi, Patty. My Malaysian name is Tzer Leei Ng.
Okay, you see why I didn't try and say it, because I knew I would butcher it. But we want to make sure that you can understand when you see his graphic that that's how it's pronounced. Charlie, you have done something extraordinary as a resident here in Prince George's. I understand that you are making face shields for some of the emergency personnel right now during this COVID-19 coronavirus time. And tell us a little bit about why you decided to do this.
Well, the thing is that when I look at the outbreak, especially like when it happened in Italy, when it got really bad, usually the problem affects like the supply chain, like the manufacturing couldn't ramp up fast enough, and then the deliveries can't happen fast enough. And a lot of hobbies, like the maker crowd in Italy, started making parts for the hospitals. So I contacted some of the friends that we know that are working in the medical field and asked them if they have anything that they might need, and told them that I have some hobby grade equipment. So, and I did look at whether if it's possible to make the N95s, because like that's the primary shortage. But after looking at the manufacturing process, it's like, okay, no way. Okay, downgrade it a little bit, and then okay, face shield. It's sort of like wearing a raincoat over the N95 so that the N95 doesn't get contaminated as bad, or maybe don't get directly hit. So that's something within the capability of the equipment that I have, which is why I ended up making this.
So tell us, as somebody who does this as a hobby, what's the process to actually try and make face shields?
So the first thing is to start with a design. So you can design it in a mechanical CAD software. Some of them are free for the hobbyists, and the design that I am making is actually not mine. It's actually from a Swedish website, 3D Workstan. And the reason why I went for the design is that they only needed two materials. So from the design, you draw it out in a 3D model, and then you can just send it to the 3D printer and start printing. So I have sent you a couple of videos that showed how the 3D printer was sort of extruding the plastic filament, like layer by layer. It takes about like a 1 hour and 40 something minutes each. That's the part that takes the longest amount of time.
All right, and you have actually given some of these face shields to doctors that you know who have been very appreciative of those items right now.
Yeah, well, the hope is to give them more protection, and hopefully they don't get it, because this COVID-19 is so new, and I think everybody is scared and worried about that.
Yeah, and what you're doing is a very great honorable thing to try and give them some extra protection, and so we just wanted to highlight you for your efforts here in the community. Thank you so much, Charlie.
But it's my way of thanking them, because they are the ones that are going into a hazardous area. I'm sort of helping from the couch. I click print, wait for like an hour and 40 something minutes, and then come back, script it off. This video shows how the 3D printed face shield with a clear transparency sheet that is laser cut. So the face shield frame itself is 3D printed. It looks like this. And the clear face shield is actually cut out of like a transparency sheet, and the holes can actually be punched using like the US 3-hole punch. So the way to assemble this is actually to just to align the holes with the notches on the frames. And the assembly is actually fairly easy and quick. And this is a fully assembled face shield. And if the clear transparency gets contaminated or broken, it can be replaced with another transparency in a pinch. And this fits over the head just like that. If it's not tight enough, an additional elastic band can be added between these two hooks to tighten it against the head.